All right. Just did a video on Daniel Dubois and Nathan Gorman. Let's talk Joe Joyce against Bryant Jennings. I picked Joyce to win. I thought Joyce was gonna actually stop him in this fight. That was what I predicted in the video. I was rooting for Bryant Jennings. I like Bryant Jennings. I'm a fan of him, but I thought that stylistically, I didn't think this was going to be a good fight for him. But he actually did better than what I expected. I mean, I think that Bryant Jennings lost the fight. I know there's some people out there that feels he was robbed. The fight was definitely competitive, but Joyce won the fight. Okay. I think Bryant Jennings might have won about 4 rounds. Okay. I think he won maybe about four, to be fair. I don't think it was as wide as I think one of those judges had it. I think one of them had it like extremely like 118, 109 or something like that. I think Jennings won maybe 4, 5 tops, and that's really like pushing it. But a lot of this fight, I felt like Jennings was just surviving. Okay, I think early on, I think he had some success, especially in the first round. He landed a body shot that kind of bothered Joe Joyce. Okay, I noticed that after that first round, the end of that first round, and some of the second, Joyce didn't have that same aggression. I think the body shot made him slow down a bit, and respect Brian Jennings a little bit. But he still was the ring general. He still was the aggressor for the majority of the fight. And listen, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and this is nothing against Joe Joyce. From what I've heard in his interviews, he's a very humble, he's a nice guy. Not trying to disrespect the man, but I I don't enjoy watching him fight. I just he's very effective. I made a video about this before. I think he's very effective. He's a big tank, strong guy. He has power, but he's extremely slow. He's extremely slow. His technique is just off. I understand that he's very experienced. He's been in there with a lot of fighters, amateur, I mean, and even as a heavyweight professional, I get that. There's no disrespect to him, but he's very, very slow. He's very, very awkward. I can't, I don't enjoy watching him fight. And not only that, I don't think he's improving. I don't think he's improved. I mean, he's not a young professional. He's already in his 30s, but I don't enjoy watching him fight. He's very, very slow. I mean, he's extremely slow, extremely slow. And I think, like I said, I don't see improvement in his fights. In the previous video about Daniel Dubois, I believe now that Daniel Dubois, just maybe like 2 fights ago, I was saying that I think it was a little too soon for Daniel to fight a guy like Joe Joyce. But as Joe Joyce is stepping up in opposition, I don't feel like I see a better version of him. I feel like as he steps up, he looks worse to me. And I think when he finally steps up with a guy that's crafty like a Brian Jennings, or even more crafty, and actually have good punching power, I think he might either get hurt or just completely outbox, you know? And I've been saying this too. Brian Jennings is a good body puncher. Okay, this is Jennings is a guy that he gave Spilka his first loss but from a body shot. He knocked out Spilka back then, and I believe it was from a body shot. Um, he's always been he always had a decent inside game. I mean, even the little bit of rounds that he won against Luis Ortiz, it was because of his inside game. Okay, uh, I just believe that Joyce and his volume and his size and his power was just going to be too much for Jennings. You know, uh, Jennings is very skilled. He's a good mover and everything, but I just think because of his lack of power, I didn't think he would be able to keep Joyce off him. He did a little bit at times, all right, and he did pick up some rounds, but it just wasn't enough. Okay, but he survived, and went the distance and everything, and it was cool. And then he even rocked Joyce a couple times. All right, but it just wasn't enough. But Joyce, on the other hand, I think as he steps up, I think he's gonna either really get outboxed soon and outclassed by someone, or he's just gonna get knocked out. Because he's very, very easy to hit. He has no defense at all. All right, and he doesn't have a back foot game. He's not a counter puncher. He's too slow. Anyone that has any kind of skills, they're gonna see those punches coming from a mile away. All right, so listen, he's good, but he's very, very awkward, and I'm not a fan of watching his fights. Um, and I think his time will come that he's gonna lose. Soon. He's gonna lose soon. I think he keeps stepping up. He's gonna take an L from someone. Bryant Jennings was a good win. I mean, listen, it was a good win. It definitely was a good win. But moving forward, when I look at everyone else, like Hergovic and Daniel Dubois, and when I look at guys like F.A. Ajaba, I can see a Joyce beating like a Gerald Washington, who also got a win too against Hellenius this weekend. Crazy knockout. But I can see him beating guys like a Gerald Washington, a guy that I know Gerald just got to pick up a crazy knockout and everything, but Gerald Washington hasn't been a knockout guy since he stepped up. Okay, I can see him beating a guy like that, but that's like that is the level. I think Bryant Jennings is like the highest level of someone that I can see him really beating. I think if he pushes it to another level, not even championship level, but like maybe top 10, top 10, even maybe a few of the top 15, I think he would have issues against some of these guys. But right now, as in today, after watching him fight and seeing Daniel Dubois win against Nathan Gorman, um, I think Daniel Dubois would destroy him. That's what I believe. So I'm only comparing the two because they're right there and their names are aligned and they're both with Frank Warren and they're both fighting on the same cards. So I'm only comparing those two for those reasons. You have another card coming up this weekend. Outside of the Manny Pacquiao Keith Thurman fight, you got the other heavyweight card that's coming up with Dillian White, Oscar Rivas, and then you got Spilko on that card. You got Derek Chisora on that card. You know, you got a lot of people on that card. Okay, you got Dave Price fighting Dave Allen. You got that. I got to do videos on that. I'm gonna do videos on that too. If not today, tomorrow. But yeah, man, Joe Joyce, good win, but it doesn't make me feel like he can be an absolute elite guy. I think once he fight an elite contender at heavyweight, I think he takes the L. Whether he gets outboxed or because people see this fight, they're gonna see you getting hurt, getting rocked a little bit by Jennings. They're gonna see you getting hurt to the body, you know. And when you get hurt to the body, you slow down. And you don't have that much sting. A lot of his punches were push punches. There's not no snap behind his punches. He reminds me of not in the way that he fights, but a fighter that I just did not like watching fight was Sam Solomon from middleweight. I never enjoyed watching his fights. He was just so awkward to me. And they don't fight similar, but it's this awkwardness that just it was effective. I mean, he was picking wins, and he even became champion when he was a middleweight. But I just did not enjoy watching that dude fight. Every time I watched a fight, he was just so awkward. It just bothered me. And then who else can I think of? Miguel Vasquez is another guy, lightweight, that I just never enjoyed watching him fight. The way he fought was just so awkward for me. And there's a ton of guys out there. I could give you a million examples, but that's how I view Joe Joyce as a middleweight. Out of the middleweight division, he's the most awkward looking middleweight that I've seen. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the fight. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.